Let's move on now to another crisis that's hitting the front of the Australian tomorrow. We're in the dark on a power struggle. Australia's low emissions energy journey is locked in a struggle between engineering and hope. The nation has lost its way on energy because it has failed to think long-term, excluded emerging technologies from the discussion, and refused to learn from the lessons of failure from elsewhere. Nick, I get the sense that at this point in time, specifically us sitting here in Western Australia, we look at the big mining companies in the resources sector and they just sort of think, yeah, we've been thinking about this for 10 years. Where have you guys been on the public purse? Do you think it just goes to show it's not a failure of the Morrison government, but maybe they just sort of overlooked the fact that they needed to move and they needed to pivot sooner to kind of get on board with this ever-changing environment?
Look, I'd stand up for the Morrison government on this one. I mean, I've been following this. We've been reporting on this very closely for at least 6 years at the Menzies Research Centre, so I've seen all the arguments come and go. I think Angus Taylor, as Energy Minister, did an awful lot to try and increase the supply of gas, number one, because that's what we need to firm up these renewables. It's the best way. He went ahead with the Snowy Mountain 2 project, a whole lot of other things. The problem is that coal is disappearing out of the system much faster than we thought. And I think that the great disconnect is here. Both parties set targets for 2030. Labor's target even more ambitious than the coalition's, but the effect of setting that target is to force coal out even quicker. So I think that there's a disconnect here. What I'd dearly like to see this Ukraine crisis is a chance for both parties, both sides, to say, well, let's reconsider, as is happening in Europe. Can we really meet those ambitious goals under the current circumstances, or do we have to go at a more steady pace to ensure that we still have the coal and gas we need in the system right now?
Yeah, absolutely.